All right, Shalom. Barakatah Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai. Kohalo Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai. All praises be to the Most High God Yahweh and His Son Yahushai. I'm going to read from this article here, and it's from the Washington Examiner, and this is dated yesterday. This is from the politics section of the Washington Examiner. It says Trump issues executive order for Iron Dome for America. And the Iron Dome is the resemblance of what they have in the nation of Israel today, where the Israeli people, right, the imposters that are in our land are there. They have a defense shield, which, you know, a few months ago, when you had the Iranians attack the land of Israel, they actually shot down a lot of the missiles that were incoming because of this Iron Dome, or this defense shield, as it's known. So Trump is pushing this for America. Now, let's read. This is, it says, President Donald Trump issued an executive order to build an Iron Dome for America on Monday night. He categorized the need for the next generation missile defense shield as an integral part of a strong national defense against peer and near-peer adversaries of next-generation delivery systems. And we see what's going on with the war at the border. They're declaring it also a national, emergency, and they've sent in, 1,500 plus National Guard at the border and say that it's a national emergency. And then now you see this defense shield. So all of this is lining up, for the man of sin, knowing that his time is short. He knows that, America is going to be destroyed. Now, let's continue on. It goes on to say, Trump discussed plans to construct a new weapons defense system while campaigning for president, emphasizing the need for a state-of-the-art missile defense shield made in the USA. He again mentioned plans for the Iron Dome during a rally in Washington, D.C., the day before his inauguration. The executive order made, it says, the intention to build the weapon, a policy of the Trump administration. So this is something that is in the forefront of his 4-year term. Continuing on, Trump highlighted that the Iron Dome for America was part of his administration's peace through strength policy. It will be a vital instrument to discourage the country's enemies. It says, the order noted, the United States will provide for the common defense of its citizens and the nation by deploying and maintaining a next generation missile defense shield. According to the executive order, the United States will deter and defend its citizens and critical infrastructure against any foreign aerial attack on the homeland, which is speaking of those missiles, right? So the issue is there is they know that America's open for those missiles that's going to come, and there's nothing that can change that. So this defense shield, this Iron Dome, that's not going to stop prophetically, but the Most High said, it's going to be done. So that shows you this devil knows he has but a short time. The sand in the hourglass emoji. So they're trying to move quickly, but it's too late. And there's nothing that can be done. Let's continue on. Any aerial attack on the homeland in the United States will guarantee its secure second strike capability. The executive order highlighted the necessary capabilities of the Iron Dome weapon. It must defend against ballistic, hypersonic, advanced cruise missiles and other next generation aerial attacks. It goes on to say deploy proliferated space-based interceptors capable of boost phase intercept, be capable of defeating missile attacks prior to launch and in the boost phase, and deploy non-kinetic capabilities to augment the kinetic defeat of ballistic, hypersonic, advanced cruise missiles and other next generation aerial attacks, among others. So this is the latest push to try to defend and save Babylon. As we know, the scriptures say that Babylon cannot be healed. It can't be saved. It can't be healed and it can't be saved. So the men of the Lord, the believers, The prophets been set up in the last days to let it be known that Babylon is going to be completely destroyed. Thus saith the words of the God of heaven and earth. That's how you know that, and I'll get that first. That's how you know that Esau is clearly the man of sin. When you read in Obadiah, when it speaks about Edom, that's speaking about Esau, who is the Caucasian, the so-called white man today on the earth. This is Isaiah, the 14th chapter. All right, this is the proof. Isaiah 14, and I'll start at verse 13. It says, "For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God." And Esau has taken over power here in North America over the Most High's people. When you read in Revelation, the 12th chapter, speaking about the stars of God, he's exalted himself above the Most High's people, right? This is the book of Revelation 12 and verse 1. This is going into the woman Israel. So the woman that's being mentioned here in Revelation 12 and 1 is speaking about the Israelites. Revelation 12 and 1, "And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman, which is Israel, clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet." This is Israel in total power here on the earth, right? Ultimately, this is going to be the elect, starting with the elect and Israel ruling on the earth. This is when we're going to have the sun and moon under our feet, all wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, and our people all being righteous. "And upon her head a crown of 12 stars." So those 12 stars is making reference to the children of Israel. Isaiah 14 and verse 13, "For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God." And those stars, once again, is making or referring to the 12 stars, which is the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. So the children of Israel are actually being ruled over by the wicked, as we continue to read. Isaiah 14 and 13, continuing on, "I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north." And this is going on. We've been conquered here, starting in North America. The children of Israel have been conquered here in North America, which is where Esau resides, where he sits, right? Where his headquarters is. The headquarters of the Edomites around the world, which is Babylon the Great, which is America, is right here in North America. Isaiah 14 and 14, "I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High." So Esau has in his mind, right, a God complex. He thinks that he's God because he's ruling on the earth here in the last days because of his technology, because of his pseudoscience, right? He believes that he actually is God, that he's superseded the Most High. Isaiah 14 and 15, "Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit." So Esau is going through the process now of being brought down to destruction, to the grave, meaning he's going to be completely taken out of rulership. So now let's go here, 2 Ezra 7 and verse 43. It says, "But the day of doom shall be the end of this time, and the beginning of the immortality for it to come, wherein corruption is past." So the day of doom is mentioned all throughout the scriptures, and that what's going to bring doom, day of doom and gloom and destruction, is going to be the missiles. So let's show that in so many places we can just, pick the prophet pretty much, and you hear all the prophets speaking about the day of doom, the day when the missiles, the glittering spear, the glittering sword, the arrows, the wasters, the smith that bloweth the coals. All of these are, the glittering sword. All of these are names for the missiles that all the different prophets saw. Here goes another example, Daniel 12 and 1. "And at that time shall Micah, Ma'aka'Allah in the Hebrew, stand up, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people," which is the archangel Michael. "And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation." So that's what's coming to the earth. A time of trouble that's never been on the earth. "Even to that same time, and at that time, the time of Jacob's trouble, thy people shall be delivered." Before the missiles hit, the elect are going to be delivered. "Every one that shall be found written in the book," all of those whose names were written in the book of life, which that would show who the believers are today. The believers The saints of the Most High are those that are going to be delivered. That and their names are already written. It's already recorded in the heavens, in the manifest. So there's a time of trouble coming, and we're reading about it, and we'll get to showing what's going to bring this time of trouble that the scriptures speak about. Joel 2 and verse 1, blow ye the trumpet in Zion and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. The mountain speaking about nations. So amongst the Most High's people, that's the holy mountain, which are the children of Israel. And the trumpet is being blown to tell our people to return, but the elect are the only ones that can receive it and that can actually physically, hear and can have the mind and spirit to return. Isaiah 58 and 1, cry aloud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet. That's what the men of the Lord are doing worldwide. And show my people their transgression and the house of Jacob their sin. So the men of the Lord are warning the believers, those that, right, who can actually hear and see spiritually. And they're returning. Blow ye the trumpet in Zion and sound an alarm in my holy mountain, meaning amongst his people. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord Yahweh cometh, for it is nigh at hand. So that's the coming of the Lord Yahweh. It's nigh at hand. And how do we know that? Prophetically. A day of darkness and of gloominess. See, that's the doom and the gloom. A day of clouds and of thick darkness. That's going to be caused by that nuclear fallout. As the morning spread upon the mountains, a great people and a strong, there have not been ever the like, neither shall there be any more after it, even to the years of many generations. So this is going to be what's going to alter the course of history forever, because the children of Israel are going to be put back into power underneath Yahweh Shah. Verse 3, a fire devoured before them. So this is speaking about the missiles being shot. What's going to cause this doom and gloom? What's going to cause the day of doom? The thick clouds, the time that's never been on the earth. A fire devoured before them, and behind them a flame burneth. The land is as the Garden of Eden before them. It says, and behind them a desolate wilderness. Yea, and nothing shall escape them. Them are the missiles. The appearance of them, the missiles, is as the appearance of horses, meaning they're very powerful. It's what Joel saw in the vision. And as horsemen, so shall they run. So the missiles flying through the air, right, is them running, going from one place into the other. Like the noise, it says, like the noise of the chariots on the tops of mountains shall they leap. It says, like the noise of a flame of a fire that devoureth the stubble, as a strong people set in battle array. That's the missiles being shot. So it says they're going to leap. So that Iron Dome is not going to be able, whatever portion of it they try to construct before the destruction, it's still not going to be able to stop the missiles from coming. Joel is giving us the understanding here amongst many other prophets who told us the same thing. Now, let's go down to the point. Verse 8, speaking of the missiles, neither shall one thrust another, meaning the missiles are not going to hit each other. They're not going to blow up in the sky. They're not going to get intercepted, when they go, up into the heavens and come back down and detonate here in Babylon and various parts of the world. Neither shall one thrust another. They shall walk every one in his path. And when they shall fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. They shall run to and fro in the city. They shall run upon the wall. They shall climb up upon the houses. They shall enter in, it says, at the windows like a thief. That's the missiles. Because, see, Esau don't believe, he knows that it's coming, but he believes he can evade his destiny, which he called manifest destiny, him ruling and taking over the Americas and ruling over the Most High's people. But really, his destiny is that he's going to be destroyed. And Babylon, which has been the glory of kingdoms, the Bible says, is going to be destroyed. Continuing on, the earth shall quake before them. And what's going to cause the earth to quake? It didn't just say one part, in one city, in one hemisphere. The whole entire earth is going to quake. The earth shall quake before them, which is going to cause massive floods. The heavens shall tremble, the sun and the moon shall be dark, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. And the Lord Yahweh shall utter his voice before his army, for his camp is very great. See, this is really, those missiles are made. This is a part of the Most High's army. For he is strong that executeth his word, for the day of the Lord Yahweh is great and very terrible, and who can abide it? Who can actually offset what the Most High said he's going to do? So let's get a few more. It's the book of Isaiah, the 13th chapter. Isaiah 13, and going to the point in 5, what's going to cause this gloominess and darkness and these clouds and the thick cloud is going to, not allow for the ordinances, the stars, the sun, and the moon, and the heavens to be seen. What's going to cause that? What's going to cause a day of trouble that's never been on the earth? Isaiah 13 and 5 is the missiles. They come from a far country. So Isaiah saw a vision of the missiles as well. They come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even the Lord Yahweh, and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land. So this is all throughout the scriptures, that it was prophesied that these missiles would come and destroy the whole land. And what is the whole land? It's making reference to America. This entire land, from sea to shining sea, from north to south, east to west, is going to be completely destroyed. Zechariah 13 and 8, and it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith Yahweh, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die. So once this happens, we know, right here prophetically, that 2/3 of the Most High's people are not going to make it here in Babylon. It says 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein. So 1/3 is who's actually going to return. So the remnant is who's going to return. Starting here in Babylon, the remnant is who's going here. So only a fraction are even counted amongst the righteous. Now let's go back to 2nd Ezra, the 16th chapter, and add on to that. 2nd Ezra 16, and I'll start at verse 12, because we read about the earth. The earth is going to quake. 2nd Ezra 16 and 12. The earth quaketh, the missiles detonating here in Babylon and various parts of the earth is going to cause the earth to quake, to reel to and fro, as it says in Isaiah 24, like a drunkard. The earth quaketh, and the foundations thereof. The sea ariseth up with waves from the deep. That's going to be the floods coming from the missiles, and the earthquakes is going to be caused by it. And the waves of it are troubled, and the fishes thereof also before the Lord, or Adawan, and before the glory of his power. For strong is his right hand, Salakia. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp, and shall not miss when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. So these are the missiles. These are the arrows that's going to be shot into the ends of the world, which are all the nations coming together fighting in World War III. Now here goes another example or illustration, you could say, right? A vivid illustration to envision when you hear these words. Revelation, the 7th chapter, gives us more. Revelation 7 and verse 1. Now here you see it says the heading, the Most High's people will be preserved. So God's people, which is the Israel of God, the elect, are going to be preserved once this actually happens, once the missiles are fired, before they detonate in various places around the earth. The elect are going to be delivered. Revelation 7 and verse 1. And after these things, I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. Verse 2. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living God, or power, and he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of the Most High in their foreheads. So this is also, the number that the Most High longeth for, until the elect start with 144,000 are sealed. Right, these things are not going to happen. We know we're getting close, so we know that the 144,000 is very close to being sealed, if not already. But once that is truly complete is when these nations eventually are going to fire on each other. But most nations are going to fire on Babylon the Great and its allies. So now it said, hurt not the earth, right? Neither the sea, till we've sealed the servants. That would be the believers. That lines up with Revelation, the 14th chapter. Those that would have that mark, that have the Father's name in their forehead. Also in Ezekiel, the 9th chapter, those that have been marked to be preserved. Now, This wind is speaking of that nuclear wind that comes from the missiles. That's what that's making reference to. This is the book of Jeremiah. Let's get that real quick before we close it out. Jeremiah 51 and verse 1. Now the title here says Babylon is judged for sins against Israel. So America is going to be judged for what they've done to the children of Israel. Jeremiah 51 and 1. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, I will raise up against Babylon and against them that dwell in the midst of them that rise up against me a destroying wind. So that destroying wind is the same thing we read here in Revelation 7, which is that wind that's going to be destroying the trees, the sea, all of the earth. Jeremiah 51 and verse 2. And I will send unto Babylon, which is America, fanners that shall fan her and shall empty her land. And that's going to be that nuclear blast, that nuclear wind that's going to actually sweep all across this land. For in the day of trouble, we read in 2 Ezra 7 and 43, the day of doom, that's the day of trouble, right? The time of Jacob's trouble, they shall be against her round about. So these are the nations that's coming, that's being brought against Babylon round about. Let's show that these are those nations. And we see those nations today. Prophetically, now we know. Jeremiah 50 and 9, for lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken. Their arrows shall be as of a mighty expert man. That's the missiles. And none shall return in vain. So the Iron Dome, the defense shield ain't going to be able to stop what the Most High said, because it says none are going to return in vain. All of them are going to hit their intended targets. So there's no way to stop that. Back in Jeremiah 51, let's go down to the point. Jeremiah 51. And I'll go here. Verse 7, Babylon hath been a golden cup in the Lord Yahweh's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken, therefore the nations are mad. Babylon is suddenly fallen. The missiles is going to cause this place to be completely annihilated, to cease to exist. And nothing's going to dwell here but desert creatures after a period of time. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her? Take balm for her pain, if so be she may be healed. We would have healed Babylon. So how can you make America great again when the scriptures say, if she could be healed, she would be healed? We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed, meaning the Most High, right, has not intended for America to ever rule or to ever be in existence anymore. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed, so you can't make America great again. Forsake her, the believers, the elect are forsaken Babylon, and let us go every one into his own country, for her judgment reacheth unto heaven and is lifted up, it says, even unto the skies. Now that brings this to mind before we close it out. So the judgment of this place is lifted, has been lifted unto heaven. That's showing that when the destruction happens. So it says her judgment lifted unto heaven. That's how it's going to be seen and it's going to be picked up by those satellites worldwide. The destruction of Babylon the Great, the destruction of America, is going to be lifted up to the skies. Now it also says here at the top of this chapter here in Revelation 18 that her sins have reached unto heaven. So her judgment, right, is lifted up to the skies. Let's get that and show here in Revelation 18. Let's start it further down. Revelation 18, and I'll start at 16. It says, and saying, alas, alas, that great city, which is America, Babylon the Great, that was clothed in fine linen and purple and scarlet and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls. This is what we read, that Babylon has been a golden cup in the Lord's hand, right? All the nations have followed behind the ways of Babylon, which is America. For in 1 hour, this is one literal hour, for in 1 hour, so great riches is come to naught. And every shipmaster and all the company in ships and sailors, and as many as trade by the sea, stood afar off and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is like unto this great city? And it says the same thing in Revelation 13. Let me get that real quick. Where it talks about the beast. It said, what city is like unto this great city? Now let's show this here. Revelation 13 and 4, it says, and they worship the dragon, going back to the dragon, the devil, the serpent, going back to Esau. So during the time of the Romans, right, you had the ruler of the Romans, which was the iron leg on the statue that Daniel saw, right, in Daniel, the 2nd chapter. Revelation 13 and 4, and they worship the dragon, which gave power unto the beast. So this system is the reincarnation of ancient Rome, which before that the Greeks were ruling, but the Romans, the system, the dragon goes back to Rome. So that is now, the image that's of the beast. Now it came from Rome, and they worship the dragon, which gave power unto the beast system, right? And they worship the beast, saying, who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him? Who is like unto the beast, right? What nation can actually stand up against America? Revelation 18 and 18, and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is like unto this great city? Let's go down to the point. Verse 20, rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets, for the Most High hath avenged you on her. So this is going to be the vengeance of the Most High's temple, the scripture says. Verse 24, and a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone and cast it into the sea, saying, thus with violence shall that great city Babylon be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all. So that great violence is speaking of those missiles hitting. And that's going to completely destroy America. And it's not going to be found no more at all. So with that, I pray this lesson was edifying to you believing brothers and sisters, exhorting and comforting, which is Philippians 4 and 7. The peace that surpasses all understanding. I want to give all praises, infinite honor, and glory to the God of heaven and earth, Yahweh, Bahashem Yahawashi, Bahashem Rakakwadash. All praises be to the Most High God, Yahweh, and His Son Yahawashi. Honors be to the elect elders of the nation of Israel. Barakim La Habayath Madabada. Blessings to the house of David, which you brothers laboring, and to the Akyam Wa Akwath, brothers and sisters that also listen and believe on the glorious gospel that's being preached throughout the four corners of the earth. Unto you I say, Shalom.